Why is it moving so?
You're on mute now.
Yeah, I think it's moving really slow. Big up to everyone locked in though, man. I don't know what's going on. It feels a bit slow moving, sluggish, slow. I don't know what it is. But listen, we're here, man. We're here again for another slightly later than lunchtime. Quansah not for sale. Mo Salah potentially staying. Frimpong could be the right back that we're going to go and get. We're here to discuss it. We're here to have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a vibe. G in the building, Sav's in the building, or should I say Bernabeu, Sav in the building, and KMACK.
Don't do that. I had Anfield in the background and you told me to change it. So,
no, I didn't.
Yes, you did, bro. It's your fault, bro. It's your show. I just follow the rules, bro.
No.
That's exactly what happened, by the way. I'm not even lying.
Just stitched him up.
No, I didn't. I said, are you going to be
throwing
the people today? No, go back to the
Bernabeu. No, because I put that there because of you, bro. But if you're going to throw me under the bus, I'm just going straight back to Anfield.
Okay. So was it me that told you to come on with Bellingham and Trent in the Real Madrid kit?
Well, Trent's still a Liverpool player and Bellingham's one of my favourite players. So what do you want to do? Would you be mad if they were in the England top doing the same thing? Or
probably not, if I'm going to be honest.
Exactly.
I can hear an echo. Who is it? I can hear one. Testing. Yes. Nice, G. Is it G?
Is it me?
Mute yours. Yo. Yeah, it is yours. Yeah. All right, man. Let's get to it, bro. Quansah is not for sale. I don't know what you guys make of this because we had a conversation on the last stream about would we, turn him in, give him Gomez and then try and get Isak in a part exchange. But Liverpool saying he's a big part of what they're looking to do going forward. He is a good centre-back, to be fair. But my question is, guys, if they come in with serious money, do we just let this brother go and enjoy himself with Dan Burn and them, man? Or do we actually keep him? Open floor if anyone wants to take the reins on this one.
Yeah, man. We can get a good deal, then yeah, why not? You know what I mean? I don't see what the problem would be. I mean, not a starting centre-back, still quite young. Don't know if he'll really make it at the club anyway, especially when we've got Konate there, Van Dijk as well, potentially looking at other centre-backs. Kind of tells you really what Liverpool think, innit? Maybe he can force his way, maybe. I'm not saying he can't. He did well last season, yeah. Did well to get in the team. If the manager thinks he can do a job, then yeah, keep him. But I mean, if you get money for him, I mean, it's a no-brainer to me, man. Why would you keep him? I don't see the sense, within that, especially if it's going to help us to get, other players, especially with the way that Liverpool move, the way that we are as a business and yada, yada, yada. It's not talking about smaller squad, all of these kind of different things. So yeah, for me, I'm like, bro, he's not one of the important ones, or he's not a young player that I need to worry, oh my goodness, we have to keep a Quansah. He's really not that level. So if he was to go, cool, get the money, let's move on. If not, no problem. He can come into the team. He's shown that he can play, well when he's come into the team at times. This season, not so much, but in general, we've seen that he's been, solid when he's been in the team. So he's one of them ones where I don't think you actively try to sell, like on FM, you don't actively put him up for sale or trying to offer him to other clubs. But if someone comes in with a good bid, of course, I think it'd be more negligent from Liverpool's perspective if you didn't, especially for a player who is on the cusp of the England team. What's he going to do? Sit here for Harvey Elliott, just sit on the bench, coming on for these kind of crappy minutes. And then we're going to sit here in a year's time saying, oh, well, he hasn't developed. Yeah, well, obviously. He is not playing. How is he going to develop if he ain't playing? So, yeah, man. Do what you want.
Where do you see him, Sav, in the future, part development? I know you normally don't do the ceiling conversation and stuff like that. Obviously, if the manager is saying that he's not for sale, which is big, to be fair, because we are going to be looking for centre-back, for him saying or hearing that, the manager really, really wants to keep me here. What kind of ceiling do you see this brother can reach? Because he has great attributes. And, we always joked about, especially last season as well, you came up with he's got a bit of both. He's got Virgil, he's got Matip, and he's also got a bit of Gomez in him as well.
I am. Yeah, man, know my feelings on Quansah. I was hot on him before he got into the squad. because he seemed too good for the youth setup he was in. I think he'll be the future starting centre back for Liverpool. So I wouldn't move him on. And I mean, G does make a point about developing him and stuff like that. But I don't know if Liverpool can afford the luxury of like selling somebody like Quansah with all the woes that we have in our team and the fact that we've still got Gomez there. KONATE picks up a few injuries a season, and Virgil's in the latter years of his age and his footballing career, and his contract is about. We don't even know what's going to go on there.
Yeah.
And then just taking into account, and no disrespect, just the way our club's ran, which is whatever. But we know how it's ran in it. So it's not like we know, oh yeah, we'll sell Quansah and then we'll sell Gomez and then the club will just bring in all these centre backs and all these. I don't think they will. And then also you're looking at whoever you bring in, if they're going to be in the same predicament, having to start, which they will, behind KONATE and Virgil. You got somebody here who's already in the makeup of it, already in the build of it, already been around the club, instead of somebody coming in who just doesn't want to do it. Because you have to pick up somebody way more experienced who's in the latter part of their career to be able to sit on the bench. They're not going to pick up a young one, I don't think. I think there was talk about signing Lenny over last season, and he's like a year old or whatever. Talk about Colwell before, and they're around the same age as well. I'll just keep Quansah, bro. I don't look at this current season, and I don't see full regression in it apart from the game time. Like, obviously, there's been shaky moments here or there, but I think our defence looks shaky anyway when our midfield's not working well. I think when our midfield's working well, there's a little bit less pressure on them. They all defend pretty well, and obviously that's what separates the great ones from the good ones. Is that when something does break down in midfield, you can deal with that as well. But it's still young, isn't it? So it's got to learn. So yeah, I'll keep Quansah. Try not to be too biased because I want him anyway, but I would keep him.
What about you then, KMACK? Because obviously, for me personally, I want Isak in the football club. I know he's there. I know last summer they wanted Gomez. I know they also considered getting Quansah as well because we was trying to get Gordon around that period of time. But instead of us going out there and, I don't know, like putting loads of money up, we could potentially use Quansah. But obviously, I don't know what you see him as. You see him as someone that's going to really, make a mark in the first team, or is he just someone you just think he's always going to be a squad player?
So with the Newcastle negotiations, it was the other way around. Okay. They wanted Quansah, but we offered them Gomez, and they also then bumped the price up on Gordon because we offered them Gomez and not Quansah. So that was the situation there. We also tried for Isak, by the way. Like, we tried to negotiate for Isak. That has come out, like, but they wanted 100 million, and that was too rich for us back then. Hindsight, probably a good deal now, but the Quansah thing's quite interesting because Slot backed him to start ahead of KONATE, then realised he wasn't the type of player that could handle that game or maybe games. So then he dropped out of the team. He then had some misdemeanors or whatever going on in the background, which kind of put him out of the limelight for a while. I think the interesting thing about it is, as soon as there was an injury to KONATE, Gomez went straight in. Like, Quansah didn't get a look in, so Gomez went straight in. Even though you would have thought Quansah was probably second choice, if he got replaced by KONATE, that made sense to me, but he didn't. Then third choice came in. And then if you look at the FA Cup game, Endo got played, and he didn't get played in the FA Cup game. He came on as a sub to replace Gomez, who got injured. So he's right down the pecking order. And then he's obviously being used as a right back, like emergency right back, because we haven't got any. So you have to look at it. Is he in the picture? Like, is he really got a future at Liverpool? Or are we just saying that so they maybe bump the price up on him? Or maybe he can be offered as a make-weight. But I genuinely don't know. Like, if Slot backs him, he's a right back right now. He's not a centre back in Slot's eyes because he's not being used as a centre back. He's being used as a right back. So I really don't know. Like, he probably needs a pre-season, and he probably needs a loan. If I'm honest, he's played less than 30 games, and he's 22.
He played quite a lot last season, though. Obviously, there was like injuries and stuff, and merit to him because he actually did perform when he came in.
Yeah,
but you said about right back, but I think he's only been utilized there just because we had the injuries. Remember, Trent was out, Bradley was out, so obviously he got utilized there. But like, I don't know. Do you not see like a future for him at the football club, or because I see him like reaching really good levels and heights. Is it in the same like version like Virgil, mate? Probably not. Obviously, Virgil's like the 1 in a million type of defender. But I feel like he can become one of the best. And I don't want to just give away these type of talented players just to get another one. But I do want Isak though. So I'm kind of caught between that.
Can I just say one more thing on that, by the way? So we're obviously linked with centre backs. Yeah. So the one we want is probably a lot of people want Dean Huijsen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spanish international, incredible player. Yeah. He's got ceilings gigantic on him. He's got 50 million release clause. He's not going to come to Liverpool to be a third choice centre back. He's not. Like, so what do you do? Is Quansah going to stay at Liverpool to be a third choice centre back? When we all think his ceiling's high, he's a potential England international. I mean, he's getting in the England team ahead of Jared Braithwaite, who we all think's really good as well. So why would you do that? Like, why would you be a third choice centre back at Liverpool? Yeah, you might get some games when KONATE gets injured, but if we're going to get rid of Trent and we're potentially getting a more defensive right back, will KONATE get as many injuries? And if Virgil, who's never injured, touch wood, and KONATE sorts out his injury problems, you want like an international as your third choice. Like that's really difficult. I think that's a really difficult situation. And you've got to convince the player to be that guy. And what are you going to play on Quansah's the fact that, oh, you're from the youth team, you're going to get your chance eventually, mate. But then you throw him in and he's dog shit because he hasn't had any game time. And that's happened with Quansah, by the way. It's happened with quite a few players. You throw them in and they're not going to hit the ground running because they haven't had any game time and they're still quite young. So it's a really difficult one with Liverpool. Like,
what do you then go on, Sav? What was you going to say?
I was going to say KMACK is a great point, man. But I'm just saying, like, I don't give a damn if it's in England, but like,
oh no, me neither.
If we do that, then we know KONATE is going to get injured at some point. There's no doubt. I don't care if Trent's not there and he's not running for Trent and stuff. That he's going to get injured, and it's a fair point to say that. But he's already accepting being in this position at the moment. So I'll take that. I'll take accepting that he's already in that position instead of trying to get somebody else in. Because that's harder to get somebody else in and letting them know you're going to be in whatever choice centre-back. Because time's short in football, and even if Gomez stays this season, he probably ain't going to be there next season. You know what I'm saying? No, like the season after, he's probably not going to be there, even if he decides to stay in the summer or Liverpool decide to keep him. And KONATE is going to get injured and Virgil's going to be another year older. We don't even know if Virgil's going to sign a contract. So I don't know. Like a loan is more the that's the highest I go on that, man. I wouldn't get rid of him, bro.
Yeah, because you're right. Trying to get in, because then, as we said, we already think we need at least a centre back now. Anyway, you get rid of him, you're looking to then get two in. I did see one of Fabrizio's report, and he was saying about players that Liverpool are looking to get in terms of positions, not the actual names. And he was talking about, he said centre backs, he said left back. He also said an attacking player, winger, and a striker, and a holding midfielder. Those are kind of the positions Liverpool are currently in the market looking at. So, but when he said centre backs, I'm like, okay, does that mean someone's going? Because we already got Virgil. You already got, well, technically Virgil might leave, but we got Virgil currently. You got KONATE, you've got Gomez, and you've got Quansah. So you got four. So when he says centre backs, I'm like, okay, that could mean someone is leaving, and I hope it's not obviously Virgil. But I don't know, man.
The thing is, though, like, like what Savage said about the loan thing. Yeah, I'm always about development, innit? Like it's players cannot develop on the bench. It's impossible. Like you just don't get any real football in that. And we've seen more or less every single player you've ever watched who's been on the bench has never developed. It's usually once they start getting run of games, playing football consistently. Doesn't matter what level. Just once you start playing, you inevitably get better, right? I think with someone like Quansah, you never know. Like I don't know, by the way, if we're gonna. Like, I don't know if the manager even wants him. Do you know what I mean? Like this doesn't tell me the manager likes him or not. It just says what James Pearce has said. That doesn't tell me that the manager thinks highly of him or doesn't. He might get in a defender that he feels, nah, this is actually a defender I can see actually really battling for a starting spot, so I can rotate or he can actually come in. Right now, Quansah might not be at that level. I don't know. Like I'm just guessing, by the way. He might not look at Quansah in that way to say, yo, yeah, you can battle Konate. The reality is, I don't think so. Like, I don't think he's at that kind of level. Can he maybe get a centre back who can do that? And then the whole thing about Konate always getting injured doesn't matter because you've got a player that you know this guy's already battling with thing. Whereas with Quansah, he's not battling Konate. What he's doing is he's waiting for Konate to get injured, then he'll come in and then he'll go from there. Whereas the other player who may come in, again, it's just guessing. This one might actually be someone who can actually, as in, I don't know who to play today, or I don't know, he played well in the last game and did it. Whereas Quansah, I don't really feel like it's going to be a situation. I'm, again, guessing, but I don't really feel like Quansah is the guy where it's like against Konate, where I'm like, if he plays banging in the last game, Slot's going to really have a thought process about it. I feel like he'd just be like, I'll just put Konate, back in. A bit like the whole Kelleher-Allison thing. It's like, you got someone so superior and the other guy is kind of nowhere really near that kind of level. Then obviously, of course, like I'm just going to put this guy back in. No matter what this brother has been doing for the last 10 games, 15 games or whatever, I'm going to put this guy back in regardless kind of thing. And I'm not even going to blink to think about what I'm going to do. Maybe he might see that situation different. That's why I say, if you sold him, it wouldn't really make, you could get just any player who you think, I don't know, like Gay, someone just put, he's a higher level than Quansah, so get him in there if you really like him, if you want him. Otherwise,
ain't that the point though? Get Gay in, he ain't sitting on the bench.
But that's the point. That is the point. Is that you're gonna get someone like Gay in who can battle.
No, but you're right. But we spoke about this yesterday with the way he rotates and stuff like that.
Yeah, no,
man ain't trying to change the centre backs to even give them like, for example, if Slot was rotating centre backs like Guardiola does, Gray's perfect, and he's definitely not great on Quansah. He's one of the best centre backs in the league. But if he's not doing that, then it's back to like FA Cup and League Cup and all that, bro. And we see how that turns out. I mean, when we do well, you get in quite a few games. When we don't do well and get knocked out in the third round of them, all of a sudden your games are hard. So I do get your point though. That does make sense. No, I see people in the chat saying they would accept rotation, but we don't rotate. That's my point. It's not about accepting. It's just the fact that we don't do it, bro. We don't rotate. We don't rotate right backs unless Trent got injured. We don't rotate until Robbo was like damn near on his last leg. We put Tsimikas in, and as soon as Robbo had a rest, he put Robbo straight back in.
Someone made that point though, didn't they?
Someone made that. Gravenberch played every game. Salah played every game. It's only Diaz and Gakpo and the strikers get rotated. Everything else,
do you think
strikers got rotated because they were rubbish?
But do you think then the reason for that is we don't have the quality? Because when you look at the rotation,
I don't think it's the quality. I just think it's the trust of the manager. To be fair, I think he just
that doesn't the quality. Like if you had, as an example, if he had Bernardo Silva or Gundogan,
so for me, I think for him. Remember, he's only been here in that period of time, he's been here for coming up to a season, right? But initially he's going, from what I have seen, these are the guys that played on the clock a lot. So, all right, let me test them out in preseason. Nah, they're good. Or let me see in the first couple of games, these guys are good. The problem is he's not looked back since then. So he hasn't given the other guys the opportunities to play consistent games to then go, oh, no, he's actually good. I can actually play him. I can actually rely on him. It's only now where he's had to kind of rotate because he's seeing like some of the guys are getting a bit tired and he's now have to then put his trust in like Wataru and then bringing Quansah back in, giving Tsimikas moments instead of, and I can't remember who was on the panel, but I know was it you and was it Sav and Cap? We was talking about the only time we brought in Tsimikas is when Robbo makes a mistake, and then the only time Robbo comes back in is when Tsimikas makes a mistake. Instead of actually going, you know what, he's tired today, let me run him. He's played 3 games, let me run him, or vice versa. He just has to trust his play. But not like, really, bro. Because
like I said, if he had a Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, a Vardio, these kind of guys on the bench, and again, I'm using them as like a wild example.
But if I bring you back to my point, though, G, those guys you're mentioning, if he went on the tapes, he could see that these guys played a whole season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, like especially like Gundogan. He's seen that, so he knows the quality. But the other guys, they're relatively new. The Quansahs are new in the team. Wataru is new in the team. If he's looking back and going, well, I haven't seen enough about these guys playing. He's seen them probably, Wataru, he's seen him play in the Bundesliga, but not really seen him play in the Prem. So the trust might not just be there yet. But now he's getting to see them now. Maybe going into next season, he would see. That's why I don't think it's necessarily a lot around the quality. And I'm not disagreeing with your point. I think it obviously has something to do with that. But I think without you giving them the opportunity to play, you're never going to get to see their quality. If you're never going to give them a run of games, you're never going to be able to see if they can actually do it. Like for now, we know, for an example, quality-wise, Núñez ain't it. He's given him the opportunity. He hasn't shown him. So now he knows it's not even a trust thing now, bro. It's a quality thing. But for someone like Quansah, he hasn't really given him. He's given him the Carabao Cup games, and he played well, but there was a few mistakes here or there. But that's because you're taking him out the cold, bringing him in, taking him out the cold, bringing him in. It's never going to work for him. He has to play consistently.
But we know, but even on like, I don't even disagree with that. It's just like I feel like, bro, like we know, like not like Núñez was never quality. So him even giving him the opportunity was for that reason of what you said. 1,000,000% agree. Which is, I'm going to give him the obviously. I'm not going to just shunt him because he's obviously here. And really and truly, Núñez only coming in because Jota got injured. So it's like, well, let me try this guy now. Let me see what he's saying. He's come off the bench. He's done extra, little bits and bobs. Maybe that might work. Obviously, he's now seen it and he said, F that. I'm not trying to see that. But the reality is, when I look at this, I guess it's just my own opinion. I don't rate the squad. It's not quality. And we don't have quality in reserve. So when we're then trying to say, like, remember, think about it like this year. We get gas. Endo gets 10 minutes, makes a tackle. Like, that's the level of quality that we're bringing off the bench. Like, we all spoke about Harvey Elliott. I think we all did when we was doing the whole, like, when the season. Harvey Elliott can't even touch pitch now. But these times we thought, like, surely you would have started, Harvey Elliott. And obviously, yes, I know he got injured and whatnot. And obviously the teams then starts to develop and, they gain rhythm as a free. But the reality is, I look at the squad and I'm like, well, it's not like we're sitting in, like, crazy level of quality. So I don't feel like it's a tough choice. He's not making any real tough choices right now because he doesn't really have that kind of quality to choose from. If he did, that's where I would then judge him and be like, bro, come on, man. Like, why are you not playing such as? But right now, I'm like, well, I can't. We do the lineup every game for every preview that we do. I promise you, for about 9 out of 10 times, we pick the same players. Maybe bar 1 or 2 in midfield, maybe up front. So if we're doing that, that shows that we don't even rate the squad like that anyway. No, I think he doesn't.
No, for me, I think we fell in. Well, for me, I'm going to speak for myself.
Yeah, because I don't pick the team based on what I think Slot's going to do, not what I want to do.
Yeah, so no, and when I do pick it as well,
even then, Savage, you don't ever go like, yeah, I'm going to make 4 changes. Even when you do it based on what you want,
you never do it based on what I want. No, that's my point. That's my point. I never do based on what I want because I just know, like, there's no point in it. Like, all of us,
none of those players are going to get picked.
No. The point I'm trying to make is that even when you guys think of, like, even if you was to make a squad, I find that, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait until that such time. I very much doubt it that any of you can be like, yeah, we're throwing this guy, like, it's going to be, you don't want them to play because you want your best team to necessarily play. I'm not saying you can change 1 or 2. Yes, of course. Like I said,
I think for me, when I fell into the trap, for me personally, I fell into the trap of let's just run the same team because it's doing well. There's no point of changing it.
Yeah, that
doesn't mean I don't rate Harvey Elliott and I don't think he can come in and do something. Just look at last season.
But then it doesn't make sense. If you rate the team, why wouldn't you want him to come in? I don't know.
I'm not saying I don't want him to come in. If the team is playing well, why would I change it? That's all it is. It doesn't mean that other guy ain't good.
But then we go back to the same point of everyone's complaining about players being tired. So if you think a player is being tired, why wouldn't you want to change that team if you trusted? I.e., if I had Mahrez, like as an example, if I had Mahrez and Sterling and Sane and Aguero, I promise you, I wouldn't mind who the hell plays anyway. You know what? Today, let's just go with Mahrez. Tomorrow, let's just go with Sane. Let's just go with Aguero. Whatever. You wouldn't mind doing that, and it wouldn't really matter what really happened in the last game. Maybe a little bit, but you wouldn't care so much in terms of, yeah, well, let's just run the same team. No, you'd be like, bro, we can switch it up. Why? Because we've got quality players in reserve. We ain't got that quality, bro. Like, it might be a subconscious thought, but in my opinion, the way I look at it is everyone's got that subconscious thinking of like, well, we ain't got that type of quality where you're like, yeah, well, let's play this brother. Like I said, there are the odd few players. I'm not saying it's every team that you want all the same 11, but it's going to be, I would say, 7 players, 8 maybe, that you're more or less going to always want to pick. Then it's your 3 that you might just mess around with, and you want this guy to just play just because this guy might be tired. But bro, like, is that quality? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the manager looks at it the same way.
Can I just say something on that?
Sorry, one second, KMACK. Let Sav go and then you can go, because Sav was going to go just before. So Sav, you go.
All I was going to say is it's a bit of what you said. I think Slot's done the same thing. I think it's in that what's working. I do think he's got a bit of healthy arrogance about him, but also I think he underestimated the Prem a little bit. Now that sounds crazy because we're top of the table, but I mean the pace of the Prem and the power of the Prem. I think he underestimated it because he little comments he'd make at the beginning of the season when people will ask, "Is this person tired?" and all that stuff. He'd be like, "Oh no, they're not tired. They're fine, and this don't matter." And he went all of a sudden once the performances started slowing down a little bit and Mandan did look a little bit leggy. He had to kind of go, you know, I'm gonna have to change it. Also, I think with the quality thing, yeah, I think for a lot of people like Nunes and that, I think he backed himself to be able to like change their fortunes on it, like loads of the fans did that didn't have any evidence of this apart from Jimenez. Though that's what everyone said at the beginning of the season. Oh, he's great with these players and he changed it. And they're gonna have like Gravenberch and all that. Those things are wow, they're great because we get Gravenberch in the 6 and he's been good. But for every Gravenberch you've got, there's another guy who's not got better, bro. They've regressed. You know what I mean? So it is a balancing act, and he's going to get to that point. He's like, oh, listen, if it's already working and I've come into this team and I didn't want to tweak it too much anyway, and we're top of the table, then I'm going to try and ride it till the wheels fall off, innit? And he has, and now we're 12 points ahead, and our performances have been shit, but it's enough to get us over the line, I reckon. It's going to be interesting to see what he does next, because he says that he likes having a smaller squad. He doesn't like rotating too much, which is fair that he's allowed to do that as well. But yeah, it does mean that certain people ain't going to get a chance, which is fine, because the manager's always going to win in the argument with me over the manager, because he's winning. So he can just tell me, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but shut your mouth on it. Like, I'm still winning games, and he's right. You know what I mean? And he sees the players in training every day, so he gets to tell me if they're tired. Because a lot of fans will just say someone's tired only when they're playing rubbish. That's always the aim. Always tired. Gravenberch's performance has dropped off. He's tired. And if he can just play bad in it, like, it's not a problem. It happens, literally, bro. Literally. So yeah, it's very interesting, man.
By the way, just so that everyone knows, I'm not actively trying to sell Quansah. Like, I hope that I wasn't getting lost.
Feels like you are. But big up to everyone inside. There's nearly 90 of you in the building, guys. Smash the like, man, on the way in. Go on, KMACK. What was you gonna?
So 2 things. The reason why he probably hasn't played a lot of players is because when he has, they've let him down. It's just a fact. Like, when he's played the reserve players, we got beat. We were shit. Like, the games we drew, the games we lost this season is because he played some of his reserve players. It's just a fact.
Don't you think it's a little bit unfair, though?
No, I know it's a bit unfair, but
no, not from him.
He's played them and he's given them a chance, and they didn't perform. Like, it's just so that's why he's rolled. That's why he's just rolled the dice with his best team over and over again. Because the more better players he's got on the team, the better we perform. And the proof's in the pudding, because that's what we've done all season. Like, he played Quansah in games, and Quansah's not been great. He's played Endo in some games, we weren't great. He played ELLIOTT in some games, we weren't great. Like, Simicast in some games. Like, and probably the reason why he rotated Diaz and Gakpo most of the season is because Diaz really dropped off a cliff, and he had to play Gakpo because Diaz hadn't scored any goals or assists in 2 months or something, and he needed to change it up.
Yeah, to be fair, Diaz's rotation was with the striker more than it
was. And he was forced into that anyway. But with the 15, sorry, I did say the 15 players rule. He's got this thing where he plays 15 players and he gives them over like 3,500 minutes. He has done it every club. And I think the main reason of that is he wants 15 players that he can just put in and out the team whenever, and the performances don't drop. And then the rest after that are basically just stopgaps or emergencies. And I don't think we've got that. I think we've potentially got 9 or 10 players at Liverpool now that you can consistently play all the time and there's never going to be a drop-off. You can't say we've got 11 really, really good players because we haven't. Like Jota, Nunez, Diaz, they're not brilliant all the time. Robbo's not brilliant all the time. So he wants a bigger squad of more reliable players. And I hope he gets it. Like, because if he doesn't, then we're in the same situation where he's not going to rotate again. And the guys that come in, we're going to be like, ooh. So I hope he's back.
I'm on slot. I think you do make a valid point. I'm on slot side with that, man. I've always been on like the best teams I've seen growing up and over the last years, and that usually you play the same team most times. So I don't have an issue with that.
Like, we just look at Man City, don't we, mate? Like,
yeah. I don't have
really good players.
My thing is that I just don't think, to G's point, because he was talking about the quality, and I agree with you. It's just that I think that the quality on the pitch isn't far off anyway. So like, there's not a drop off. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't think there's a drop off if you play Elliott over like Sabazla. Sabazla's a little bit different because he's got him running around and stuff, but the quality on the ball, Elliott's better to me. What he's shown here anyway. Forget what I saw previous before he come to Liverpool, because that's gone now. What I've seen Elliott on the ball compared to Sabazla, like, Elliott's better. And when Curtis plays over one of the midfielders, there's not like a drop off to me, bro. They're all of the same standard. So if you mean that the quality of the squad in general is of a certain level, it's just not really high, I agree. But I don't think the quality that we used to have in the first 11 is way higher than the quality on the bench. I think they're all around the same, to be honest. I don't think there's a big drop off between Robbo and Tsimikas. I don't think there's it's only really like Salah and Virgil, to be honest. And obviously Alisson in certain games and that, but even that, like, I don't mind. I'd never mind playing Quansah. I mean, Kelleher. Like, don't get me wrong, you want to get to a point where when we want to get to a point, I don't particularly care as long as the players can do it. But you see how we played Southampton not long ago? That was one of the last league games and stuff. They're the kind of games that when it's coming up and you know you've got like the League Cup coming up, you expect all of the main guys to not play in it. And that kind of thing. But if you've seen when KMACK said that the reason why is probably because they let him down, I think there's a point to that. But if he is thinking from that standpoint, he needs to look at himself a little bit, because the ones where he said he's let them down, he's just thrown them into these random games. Man, them who ain't played together and that. Oh yeah, I've got K. I don't play Kato at all, but I'm throwing in this Accrington game here, and I'm going to put Rio on the left, and I'm just going to throw McConnell or Trey there who can't touch the pitch. And then, you know what, let's just throw Endo at centre-back, even though he's been playing in midfield. And then you know what I mean? And obviously we won that game. And then the Plymouth, same kind of thing. I know, it's Plymouth and all that stuff, but that's what happens if you just think, it's just Plymouth. You need to figure out your team first. And then the rest of it, like PSG, that's the main team that let us down. That's not no second team. That's the main team that let us down in both legs. Newcastle, that's the main team that let us down. Remember, we haven't lost many games all season, so we don't have a big enough track record to say who let it. If anything, which by proxy, the main team has let us down more than the other team has, than the B team, because the B team ain't played. Any game we've drawn in the league this season hasn't been the B team because they don't play. Plymouth's the only game where the B team really played and let us down. Tottenham, we played the first team. Same thing. And then PSG played the first team. They're the times we've lost all season. So, like I said, I'm not mad at him doing the smaller squad thing, but I think he might change his views on that by the time he gets to the end of the season and realise, like, you know what I mean, energy runs out. And remember, this is a season, I'm not taking anything away from us, and that it doesn't matter how I feel about the quality of the league. This is the season where we're running out of energy a little bit and it seems a bit leggy and performances have been off, but we don't have Man City breathing down our neck. And Arsenal's already 12 points behind. You tried these last performances, Southampton and all that, with Man City breathing down your neck and the smell of blood. Oh my God! But we all know what's going to happen because it's happened to us.
We'll just crumble in it. We'll just all crumble in it long after that.
We stumble over the line.
Stumble.
I'll take the stumble though. Stumble in a parade. I'm here for it.
I don't want to go through that again.
Hold on 1 second.
No, I agree with what Savage is saying. That like in that part there, I think it's me. Like, I've said it before. Like, I just don't rate the squad anyway. But you're right. I do agree that the squad probably isn't as far off of each other from first.
Quality.
But in terms
of the Man City one you was on about, it's the same thing. Not in this Man City, but the previous one. But it's high quality, so it's exactly the same. But so when you go, I'm not playing Foden today, I'm playing Mahrez, or I'm not playing Sterling, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not playing Grealish today, I'm playing the levels between all of them is exactly the same. Even with like the levels between Haaland and Alvarez, Haaland's obviously the better striker, but in player-wise, there wasn't a massive drop-off, so they could just change it. And the same with the midfield. Yeah, everyone can't pass the ball like De Bruyne, but okay, we'll change this guy today, and Kovacic can play. And are we playing Ake today, or we're playing Akanji? I don't know. Is John Stones back, or we don't know. Is Diaz been on the bench for time? It doesn't really matter, because it's all of the same quality. Now you see that the quality has dropped. It's a problem again. But if you have that thing at high quality, and don't get me wrong, we spoke about it before, loads of these players weren't seen as high quality before they got to Man City. So Slot can develop that, picking up like even players for 40, 30 mil that we don't know of. You get me? Because I saw like how Akanji was used at Dortmund and stuff like that. He weren't playing like that, bro. You know what I mean? John Stone, not John Stone, just but like Ake and that media at Bournemouth. So changes in it, man. But
true.
Yeah. Okay, Matt, do me a favor. Drop your link in the chat for me, please. Let's shift the conversation, lads, man. Initial talks. I saw this not a while back, maybe a week ago, when they were saying about Frimpong and Arne Slot. They've had phone conversations, but now it looks like Liverpool are pressing forward with obviously Trent going to Real Madrid. We definitely need to go and find ourselves a right back. A lot of discussions has kind of happened with this guy. Can he play right back, right wing back, right wing? Some people said they don't like him. Some people said, nah, he's not too bad. Where you guys stand with this one? If he is the one we choose, are you guys kind of calm with it, accepting, like, do you guys accept this, or do you feel like, nah, we should just go out there and get someone far better than this?
I think he's getting a bit of a bad rap by the Liverpool fans. I don't know where it's come from. I don't know. He's a really good player, bro.
He's a good player.
Yeah, like all this stinky talking. If you I can't believe if you want him here, but you didn't want Trent, brother. What are you talking about, bro? This geezer's cold, man. Do you know how pivotal he was last season for Leverkusen?
Massive.
And this season, to be fair, because it's not that far away. Like, nah, he's a really good player, man. Like, every time somebody says that, I'm like, that's them highlights you've been watching again, bro. Because when you're watching these games, bro, he's a really good footballer, bro.
What highlights do they even want? Because I don't even see many like Velcom to this guy.
I haven't seen the highlights, but I can only assume, because if you're out here watching quite a few full games of him, I'm like, well, these must have picked up something that I did when I went to make a cup of tea or something, and I didn't see.
All the highlights I've seen is him literally just dribbling rings past people,
just burning people. He's one of the fastest players I've seen. Full of energy. He's good on the ball, and I don't know what.
Really,
you get that same thing about. Yeah, and he plays nothing like Trent, so I don't know where. Like, I don't even want to diss Trent like that, because it's almost getting too disrespectful of Trent now. But like, he plays nothing like him. They don't defend the same or anything like that. And he's coming to a club, and you like you can't 1 minute trust Slot, but then all of a sudden the players coming in, you don't trust Slot anymore. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to be more disciplined, of course, if that's how Slot wants him to play. And if he doesn't want him to play like that, then he'll, you know what I mean. And I think he's versatile in it, which is going to be good for Slot, I guess. That if somebody gets injured or somebody picks him up in the game,
he can play on the wing as well.
Yeah, that's why I said it, because I don't know what's going to happen with Salah going forward and all these different things. But depending on where they bring him, we don't know if we change our formation. But whether we play right back, right wing back, right wing, and Salah's still here, so it's going to take Salah off 70 minutes, push him further forward. Bradley's playing. Listen, I don't see the problem with it, and I think this is, of all the quality what's left in football, this kind of player I'm down with, bro, straight away. Because some of the people that you like mentioning, I'm like, brother, how is Frimpong a problem? But you're mentioning all these like media youths and that, bro. I'm not having that at all, man. I like him, bro.
What do we do? It's okay. What you make some valid points there, Sav, and I really like the player as well, man. I want him to come to the club. He's not going to offer the exact same thing that Trent offers. And will he play right back? I don't know, because he can play wing back, and he can play right wing. Maybe we're getting him to play more advanced. I don't know, and maybe we have our eyes set on someone else that we could potentially, get to either be a backup or a starter at right.
But it's very FSG in it to buy somebody who can play right wing back and right back, because then when everyone's talking about, well, if he's playing right wing, I thought we was going to buy a right back. FSG is like, we brought him all in one player, bro. Solution.
Oh, he can go in goal as well.
yeah.
You're right, man. In terms of speed, he's one of the fastest players I've seen, man.
He's rapid.
He's aggressive. He's strong, tenacious. He can tackle, and he can get a ball in the box, and he can get a shot off as well. He isn't like your conventional type of right back, like what we've kind of seen and how we've seen Trent do it, but he can play in that role. Price tag doesn't look too much. I think it's been around like the 40 mark, maybe close to 50, but for a young, talented player, man, that's kind of nothing.
Personality as well, isn't it?
Personality as well. And maybe there was something in with him, trying to speak Scouse as well when the lads met up for Holland. He was there, saying I'm practicing my Scouse. So maybe there was already conversation.
You man like Jerkers as well, isn't it? One thing I can say about Jerkers, one thing I can say about him, he can fly forward and whip a ball in and that. So you got these two on either side of the pitch, bro. I am mad still. I am mad, blood. You get me? No jerky in that. I hear it still.
I'm not comfortable with you saying that, bro.
Listen, he's Jerkers until he's at Liverpool, like that.
No, because that will be, if he has a bad game, that will be the notion. Yeah, this Jerkers, man. That will be the thing. But do you guys see if there's anyone else out there? Is there anyone else out there you guys would prefer at right back? Can
I say a couple of things about Frimpong, and then I'll also talk about someone else who I think that we should definitely be looking at. Frimpong came from Man City's academy, so he's homegrown, which is a big factor as well. With all the players that could be leaving, like Keller and Robbo, and we're talking about Quansah, we're talking about Gomez. Like, we're losing all of our homegrown quotas, so that's an important one. And the guy, I think the guy's done like 36 miles an hour. Like, he's absolutely rapid. And what is one thing that we complain about Liverpool's attack? It's not fast enough.
Speed, and then with the defense, recovery pace.
We haven't got anyone to run beyond, like, really fast. Like, it's literally Dominic Szoboszlai or nothing.
If he gets spun, which it will happen at some point, the difference between him and Trent, only saying this because Trent is already here, is our right back currently, and Bradley, his recovery pace is different, bro. It's Walker recovery pace, bro. It is, which does make a massive difference. So
the Frimpong thing, like, I mean, if you really want to look at like offensively Frimpong, I mean, he's played like over 250 games for Bayer Leverkusen, and I think he scored like 30 goals and 40 assists. Honestly, his numbers are nuts. Like, for a guy who's like right on that right hand side, like, and he goes up and down all day long. Like, you got the integration with the right side for Holland. We've also got a player that plays on the left side for Holland, and we've also got the defensive midfielder for Holland and the centre back.
We're building Dutch team, blood.
We're building the Dutch team. But I mean, the guy I want as right back, like, I do rate Bradley. I think Bradley's a real talent.
Mm-hmm.
The only worry with Bradley is the muscle injuries. Like, he keeps on getting muscle injuries, and that is a worry. But it might be because
he plays 100 miles an hour. That's why I came.
I know it might be just because like he's 21 and he's kind of getting used to playing more football. But that is a worry because your backup is who? Quansah right now. Like next season, like Gomez or Quansah next season. So it would make sense that we get a starting right back, because I think he's going to be the right winger or the right wing backup. That makes sense to me. Like, playing for Leverkusen, if you look at look how many games he plays as a right wing back, right winger, doesn't play as a right back, like a proper right back. So for the guy I want is Jules Koundé. Like, go and get Jules Koundé.
Oh, you're not getting him.
Go and get Jules Koundé. Like,
he's cold, man, but he's cold.
Go and get him. Like, throw Diaz and a bag of money. And get Jules Koundé.
He's untouchable.
Ask the Barca boys, and he will not, bruv.
He's untouchable, bro. You know what?
The only thing with Koundé though is I wouldn't say he's untouchable. and he doesn't look at the moment that he wants to sign a new deal.
Yep, that's
So
the one.
You could bring money to the table.
I think what you Barca boys need.
2 years left. 2 years left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, KMACK. You need Real Madrid to win La Liga. So then Barca win nothing.
No. You need him to. No. Because remember, he's already got a La Liga title. Win another one. That's 2. I've done everything I need to do. Win the
Champions League. Yeah.
Win the Champions League. He's bro. He'll do a Trent. He'll just do a Trent and be like, bro, I've done everything, man. We don't need that. We don't need. No, but you know, it reminds me of Balde playing left back for Barcelona. Just watching the way he
Agent KONATE. That's what we need.
No. Well, okay. No, I don't even think he can even get in there. But yeah, Balde, I was saying, he reminds me of, in terms of Frimpong, the way I just watched it, where he gets up and down.
Glides with the ball, bro.
Glides, bro, just up and down, up and down. And I'll just watch that go in.
You don't know that run he did yesterday, and it from the back all the way to the top of the pitch. I wanted to kick my flipping screen. That man was drifting through people. He's a serious guy, man.
He's one of the best levels. He's so solid.
He's so sick, bro.
Let's get. We got Jay.
What's going on?
We got Jay. Man was like an NFL agent, you know, with the earpiece.
Where is he in the NFL? Where is he going? Is he
man, do not Jerry Maguire and that. Show me the money. I hear it.
Is that the earpiece?
The money. Huh?
That's the earpiece as well. I hear it, man.
Listen, there's missions going on, bro. There's missions going on. I need to be on. On alert. And then I use this on match day as well. When I get banned off the touchline and standing in the car
park. Oh, that's good. We're just talking about Frimpong at the moment. I don't know if you want to chime in with G as well. G, you haven't had your say kind of on him as well. So
I like Frimpong, but I wouldn't. I think so. Savage, he basically said it is like, because he's so versatile. For me, you'd be wasting him at right back. Like you don't. I don't feel like you sign players like him and say, "Yeah, can you be a bit more reserved?" Well, what was the point of signing me then? The whole point of signing me was that I'm good at this thing. If I play right back now, I can't really do that thing, because then the rest of the team is going to be impacted, meaning another player is going to be impacted. It just gets all long, man. Like I just think that if you did play him at right back, I promise you, you're not going to see the best of Frimpong. Like it's not going to. It's like Szoboszlai. We see what Szoboszlai looks like now. We ain't seen the best of Szoboszlai. But how do you think man are cussing him left, right, and center, and all of these kind of things, and all of a sudden you start to lose confidence and. Bro, just playing right wing, bro. Like, he's so quick. You're not catching him. He's like Hakimi. Them brothers, you're not catching him. Quick, you don't catch. He's got that Ghanaian pace, man. It's crazy. But yeah, in terms of right backs, listen, if you can chat to Newcastle and go grab like Livramento or something, then great. But if not,
Livramento.
Yeah, bro, he's.
They said he's not for sale, by the way.
Yeah, Quansah not for sale too, but these times he could. You know what I mean? You never know what could happen, man. I just think, honestly, again, Savage said it like I was nodding in agreement. I was like, but the rest of these guys are kind of meaty, man. Like I'm not gonna be mad at any of these other signs. I don't really care. Outside of Livramento, maybe Koundé. Like if you could get them, then great. If not, bro, they're all really just like calm right backs. That they're gonna just be calm. Like you're not gonna be so fussed about them, but yeah, they might be able to slot in and. You know what I mean? Do their thing, and you won't really complain, to be honest with you, man.
No, fair. What about you, Jerry, bro?
Yeah, I kind of disagree on that point. I think, do I look at it, if Salah stays, then I think Frimpong's that type of fullback is super important. I was looking at G's. He done an analysis on right backs. He actually spoke about how Slot, when he had Gutrido was really, really narrow. But I think when Gutrido is really, really narrow, it's because he had the equivalent of what we've got with Diaz on the right-hand side. That's very, very touchline and isolates the winger. Salah comes in field. Remember, Slot really spoke about where he sees Trent is high and wide, like wide back to what he did before, right? That's why I think Frimpong can be lethal, because we've seen it with Bradley, where Bradley doesn't necessarily invert as much. But he gets forward, and when he gets forward, he can attack down that side. Trent obviously is much better when he's on the ball, and right now you need him in this Liverpool team. But I think if Salah plays, I think the longer time goes on, you're going to need someone that's going to be making overlaps all the time. Now, you might not get the same Frimpong that you potentially get at Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not going to lie and say I don't watch every single game, so I don't know how he plays. But one thing I can tell you is the amount of chance Liverpool can create, he will be able to get into those advanced areas and then affect the game from that side with his pace, and then being able to deliver high up the pitch. Defensively, though, we'll still have the same issue that people like to speak about, is who compensates and who covers for that when you've got Salah. And I think that's a bigger issue. And I think that's where Szoboszlai might be needed, or the centre-back you get will have to go and cover, or you have to get a DM that's able to cover that ground in order to make sure when you lose the ball, you can win it in those situations. I mean, Henderson done it for years and done really well at that. And since then, to be fair, we haven't had someone that's really disciplined, or when they win the ball in those areas can actually keep it. We've had Szoboszlai that can, he's there in terms of energy. But on the ball, there's a lot of questions to be asked in terms of like him losing the ball, a simple pass of being able to keep the tempo. It's like he wants to go forwards all the time. So that's the biggest problem for me. I just, you kind of have to look at all the different positions and then have a look at, I think they've all got like a domino effect. So it all impacts. So if Salah is not playing, then you've got a right winger that tries to isolate his man every single time. You can then look at, I don't know, KMACK spoke about Kunde, or you can look at a Gertrude or someone that can be a bit more narrow. And we've actually got evidence of that with Robbo on that side, where Robbo's much more narrow than he's ever played for Liverpool. And you've got Diaz that's able to isolate, or when Gakpo's out there, they're able to isolate. So yeah, I think that's the way to kind of look at it for me, man. But no, he's all right. Are they like standout candidates? Unless you look at, for me, Hakimi. There's not really a standout candidate like that. I think you're just taking a gamble with any of these fullbacks. I know you guys spoke about Livramento. He's all right. Like, he's all right. When I speak to Newcastle fans, they're like, yeah, he's all right. They don't gas him as much as we do. And I think, again, we're just shopping in that market, innit? We're shopping at Tesco's. Whereas, we're trying to replace Waitrose and Whole Foods quality players. It's difficult. You could get a gem. You could find something that's quality, but it's just difficult. And you're going to have to obviously develop it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, man.
Fairs, man. What about this as well? I'm sure you guys, seen it since obviously Trent kind of made his decision. There's a lot being said about like Salah and Virgil's contract, that we're accelerating it now because we need to kind of get it done. The club right now, I'll go to you, Sav. The club right now needs to do something, bro, because it looks bad, innit? And I think the only way you kind of bring the fan base around or keep them a bit happy again is to announce these guys earlier than what you potentially wanted to. Or even if you didn't want to, you're gonna have to now. There's no choice now. I think they have. There's no choice. Once Trent made his decision, it's long days now. So what do you think? What do you think with this, man? Do you think there's anything to it? Do you think Salah will sign and stay and all of the above?
I honestly don't know, man. I think the reason why they're telling us this is because the Trent thing just dropped this week. They're trying to buy it a bit of time in it. As long as you tell people that it's getting closer and keep dropping the adjectives to make it sound like we're nearly there, keeps people hanging on, not noticing. Before you know it, the Premier League games are back. We don't care anyway. Season's done, and then they'll do it properly. So realistically, they've not given me anything as a fan to say, oh yeah, Salah's staying or not at all. Same with Virgil. I have no idea. So, but if he's not, and they already have an idea that he's not staying, then you would hope that they're already trying to sort something out of what to bring in next, and they got the scouts out looking in certain areas and that. But I have no idea at all, man. I'm sure Slot wants to know more than anyone because he probably want to make plans for the following season, and he probably doesn't want any more distractions for the rest of this season either. But I don't know, man. It's very. I'm kind of bored. I'm kind of bored of it now, man. Like, it's just constant every day, and nothing's changed. If anything, man, I'm glad the Trent stuff came out, because at least that's progress, the Trent thing, because now we know.
Yeah.
The other two is just hanging. Like, if they hang with somebody, Fred, and they get to the end of the season, they both leave. Then what? Getting the Trent treatment as well, because that's even worse then.
Yeah. Are you playing FM now, G?
No. I turned it off before we started.
No, because like when you play FM and you get
Oh, you mean in general? Yeah.
you get like a notification that says that Man City scouts are looking at blah blah blah. It's normally Jude Bellingham like every single couple of weeks. It's the same. It's just boring now. Like all they do is keep on changing the wording. Negotiations are getting better. Negotiations are getting better and better. Shut up now.
Yeah.
I think monitoring's the one, innit? They love that.
Yeah.
And then Salah comes out and goes, "No, they haven't said nothing."
What it is with me, right? And this is where, again, this is my personal opinion, and I kind of struggle with it. Is I don't see in any world, right, that Liverpool have not proposed anything to these guys, right?
They definitely have.
And if they have, I doubt it's on less than what they're on right now. So the only thing I logically can put into my head is that it's a time thing.
Yeah, contract time.
For me, if they love the club the way they keep talking about, right? And we wanted to talk about loyalty and all of this, because we've been like, the narrative has been, especially regarding Trent, is it's the loyalty to the club. You're not showing the loyalty to the club, right? Mm-hmm. Irrespective of what I think personally, I don't think they're doing anything wrong. The players is they should have just signed what they've been given. They're on the same amount of money. They left the club. They want to stay here. It's progressing well. Why not get year on year? In a year's time, right? The same narrative we use. In a year's time, Salah can go to Saudi, right? If he's poor, Saudi will still be there. Virgil, there's loads of teams that will take Virg, but ultimately for me, it's like, and just knowing that how their game is just at lower level anyway, is they're looking at it from a monetary standpoint. Is I want more money or a length of time, right? So ultimately, they're saying the length of time and the money is more important than this supposed love that we keep talking about, right? About the club. So I don't understand why the narrative, right, regarding Trent is, yes, Trent's decision is to play, which it is 100%, because they definitely offered him something. But regarding Virgil and Salah, right, the fact that they haven't signed right now, they haven't been clear, for me personally, and again, people can disagree, they have not said, again, recently, I want to stay, and we're going to try and sort something out. It's, I love the club, the fans love me. They use these adjectives, as Sav has said, to twang the fans into thinking, well, clearly he wants to stay because he said he loves the club. But when Trent said, I want to be captain and I want to be this, you're using that as a stick to beat him with. He said that, but now he's going here. So my concern is, right, it's gotten to this point. It's like, it would have been signed by now. You think these players, right, thinking of their future, are just going to wait until the last day and then off the whim be like, oh yeah, we're moving to France. What? He's got a family, bro. He's got a family. Like, if he's going to France, that's been organized already.
Of course, bro.
Same thing with Rudiger when he left to go Real Madrid, and it came out later on. It wasn't an off the whim thing. Same with the Trent thing. It's not been an off the whim thing. I'm not going to wait to get evicted from my yard before I start looking for a yard. I mean, if they're saying my tenancy agreement's finishing up right now, I'm looking from a month, 2-3 months beforehand, and I'm making sure I've got stuff in place, even if it means I've got to go back to my mum's or whatever. I'm not waiting until the last day and then making a decision. I'm going on Rightmove and trying to find a yard. No.
That's a really good point. Like, it takes months to sell a house.
Of course,
exactly. So, and you're talking about decisions that not only affect himself and the player, it's the girl, the family. They might have a family unit. They might have a support system there that they're leaving. When it comes to, obviously, I don't know. I'm just putting this stuff out there. But these are things that they've put in place. So for me, the longer this goes on, it's just like, like, what are you going to do if they sign? And this is where this is how it makes sense to me. If they sign, this is Liverpool trying to save face because they're really scared and they give the players what they want. But at this moment in time, they're not doing that. So if they're staying and if they end up staying, this isn't because of love. This isn't because of love of the club. This is because for themselves, it makes sense to them. And it always has been when it comes to contracts.
Yeah.
Even when they talk about the love and you talk about Steven Gerrard, it's an ego thing. It's, I don't want to be viewed as this person, me personally. It's not because I love the fans and love the club. It's, I might have to come back to Liverpool and I don't want to have that affinity or that, I don't want that pressure of coming back and there's issues. It's all to do with oneself. It's a personal decision. So that, I don't know, man. Like, for me, I think they're gone. I think they're gone, man.
Wow.
Nice. Jay said that perfect still. Can't even lie, bro.
You couldn't have said it. Couldn't have said it any better. Like,
they're
employees. They're employees. They work for a company. Like,
so you think they're all gone then, Jay? You said.
I personally think they've all gone, and I think the difference in how they've done it is I think Trent was in a situation where, because he's the youngest one, right? They've tried to convince Trent to sign because they know there's monetary value, there's an asset there. Keep him at the club. Use the, I mean, he's the local lad, given the vice captaincy and stuff. He's waiting for Trent and Salah, Virgil and Salah to sign, and also looking at what other club. And probably this has been discussed. What are you going to do to help this team right now? What players are you signing? Because you told us Zubimendi, we only got Chiesa, right? Yeah, and yes, we're winning the league right now, but what's the future step? So if Salah does go, who are we getting? We might get Mbeumo. What? No. Salah left. You're talking to me about Semenyo and Mbeumo. Well, all right, cool. If Virgil leaves, who you're getting? Yeah, Huijsen looks really good. Yeah, he's a baller, but that's not Virg, right? So ultimately, for me, right, if Liverpool showed a bit of ambition, whether it's signing these guys up, right, or there was a plan, and this is what they discussed for the next 5-year plan. This is what we're looking to do. These are the players we're looking to sign, right? I don't think they've just convinced Trent enough, personally, right? Hence, he's looked at, I mean, teams are away. And I think when you look at Virgil and Salah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're looking at it from a monetary standpoint, right? And they're like, well, you're not going to give me what you're getting. This is my last contract. I've won everything there is to win. We're talking about Virgil as the best ever. How is it going to get? Yeah, you can win another Premier League, but you could go to Serie A and win a Serie A. And then it's like, all right, I won a league there as well. But I'm going to get more money for my family because you're thinking of retirement now. They're in a different situation. So, I don't know, man. I think they're all gone.
It does feel like Trent thought he was doing the right thing in it by being quiet. When you look at it because obviously he's never moved club before, innit? Do you want to have moved different?
And I think he'd have to. I think personally he'd have to stay quiet because he's the one, right, that can't come out and say I love the club, and then even if they didn't sign him and he said I love the club, I want to stay, and didn't sign, because he's a local lad, they'll still look at it like there's an issue. The fans would still look at it like, because you're a local lad, you've left. With Virgil and Salah, it's completely different, right? They're at a different time of their career, right? It's nearing the end. We're going to have to move them on anyway in 2 years' time, 3 years max, right? So it's like, yeah, I want to stay. I love the club. That doesn't mean anything to me. If you love the club, just sign then.
When Salah said that at the Man U game, that time after the Man U game, and he said, this is probably my last time playing. It's going to be my last time playing at Old Trafford. Remember, he said that earlier in the season. And then everyone was like, oh, it means he's going and all that stuff. The narrative wasn't, Salah, you get out of my club and all this, but you're not. It was all, let's just enjoy what we got at the Egyptian king for the rest of the season and that. Brother, Trent just said, I'm not speaking about anything. And it's all, and I can imagine if he had said anything, that was way earlier in the season. See all the goals and assists we got from Trent and some good performance. It wouldn't have happened, bro. Because they would have been on this case like they are now for a whole season.
Do you think, 2 points, can I just mention something on Trent and then obviously something on the other 2 contracts? Brilliant stuff, by the way, Jerry. Like, I haven't heard that point of view off anyone, to be fair. Not in that context. With the Trent one, do you think Trent was just toeing the line for Real Madrid? Because no one comes out and talks about like that kind of stuff who's going to Real Madrid. Like, there was a number of players that were going to Real Madrid and they just kept stump. Like, and obviously there was stuff that got done with players like, you know, you've got Alphonso Davies, for example. Like, he was nailed on to go to Real Madrid. Like, everybody knew that he wanted to go. He was interested in it, and he never said a word about it. And then the club managed to get him back, like, and he signed a new contract. Then you got Mbappe. Mbappe didn't really talk about it. Like, the first time round when it didn't happen, everybody knew he was going. Then it didn't happen, and then it all went quiet. And then it was
but they did, because they just like subbing him off.
So do you think there's an element because Perez has said, hasn't he? Like, he talks a lot of stuff anyway. Well, Perez has said that if you come to Real Madrid, you have to play the game. Like, as in, you have to do everything that we say, otherwise we won't go for you. So do you feel like he shut his mouth? He hasn't said nothing because Real Madrid have said, look, don't tell anyone that you're coming to us. Like, we don't announce it early. Like, all the media stuff will come from our side. Then we'll put pressure on your club.
I'd be interested to hear what these guys have to say. But me personally, I think what's happened, right, is he's known that Real Madrid are interested in him, right? Whether you know about interest, so agents will talk, and you'll know like, oh, they're looking at you, or he'll go to a game, and all of a sudden you got Perez's man them in, do you know what I mean, in the Champions League final, and they're watching, and then they're speaking to his brother, so they'll know that there's interest there. I think what's accelerated this whole process, right, is I think for a long time the departures of what's happened with Thiago, in my opinion, with Mane leaving, Bobby leaving, Hendo leaving, Robbo looking like he's on his last legs, Verge, do you know what I mean? Obviously, they're not being able to go and sign yet. Salah not being able to sign. Thinking, Jurgen Klopp as well, massive one.
Konate next season's on the last year.
Konate next season, but he's looking at it thinking, oh, I was part of that team, right? Now, do I want to be part of this rebuild, right? When Jurgen Klopp, right? And I think Jurgen Klopp was the one that for me was like, the best to describe it is like, you know, the auntie or the grandma that holds the family together, right? So no matter what, because it's Klopp there, they believe in what that is. With Slot, it's a completely different dynamic. It's now a manager that's learning his trade. It's a manager that hasn't got the same pull. And yes, they're doing well right now, but we've seen it this season. He's subbing him off. He's taking him off. Now, we speak about Trent's legacy and talk about, yeah, he's so important. The narrative we've had even on this channel, right, is discussions about, should Bradley play? Trent, nah, your defending is not good. Now, those are all valid points. But from his perspective is, I was under a manager before that, no matter what that was, I played in the team because my role in the team was different. Along with everyone leaving and stuff like that, is there guarantees that I am going to be the guy in that team if he has personal ambitions of being the guy? Another club is giving him the opportunity, or probably whether they're gassing him or whatever, right? But they've definitely spoke to him and said, you might be the guy from a creative standpoint. They know about his defensive issues. They know, right? They know. It's not that they're just signing a player because they've seen a clip. They've seen what's happened against United and they still want to sign him. That for you is validation, right? So from that perspective, it's like, all right, cool. Like, am I going to wait around? And what if Salah and Verge go? Who are they going to sign? What am I going to be the Gerrard? I've seen what happened to Gerrard, and that his ideal of being a footballer isn't him just going through the trenches. And do you know what I mean? Because look, if Virgil and Salah leave, right? We've all said it on this panel. Liverpool are challenging for Champions League and end up fifth, and it gets scary, like G said. Does Trent want to be that Gerrard guy that just guts and putting cortisone injections in his knees to try drag us to Europa League and stuff? He probably doesn't. And that's obviously, Gerrard's a different character, Trent's a different character. You're just looking at it from his perspective and thinking, yeah, I might be appreciated somewhere else. I think if Klopp was here and Liverpool was signing, like, yeah, Salah's there, but we're signing Rodrigo from Real Madrid, that probably stays. And I think I think there's different factors, but I want to know what you, man, have to say, to be fair.
There was one more thing I wanted to say, sorry, and it was the one about Mo and Virgil. Do you think the fact that Slot has been very vocal about saying, I want Virgil here next season, I want Mo here next season, didn't say about Trent, by the way, do you think that's got a factor?
No.
Because he's actually telling the board, like, I want them here next season. Like,
I think it's the one that Jerry said as well about him not playing as well. You know, every minute getting subbed off around like 60-something minutes, and then Bradley would come on. I feel like Trent.
I don't mean Trent. I don't mean Trent. I mean Mo.
I know, but I mean, you said about him not mentioning him. Does that have a factor to do with it? So I feel like the other two, we know them two should be there. I think Trent has always been that question mark. Do we want him to stay? Do we want him to go? Could we get someone better defensively? But I feel like because he keeps getting subbed as well, for his ego that he has, and there's nothing wrong with having an ego, but for his ego, he's like, nah. I should be playing 90 minutes. I should be,
especially when you don't rate Bradley nowhere near his level.
Yeah. And then Real Madrid, like what Jerry's saying is, they could just say, bro, you're gonna be our guy. He's like, so why would I sit here and play like second, not even second fiddle, because I'll start, but I'm gonna keep getting subbed off. So that means if I have a bad game, this brother ain't scared to throw Bradley in. Where before Klopp would be like, yo, arm around the shoulder, big man, fix up, man. That was a poor game. Let's go again. But now Slot is like, oh, so you think you can not run back, big man? All right, get off.
Yeah. There's a big difference between getting subbed off with Carvajal and Bradley. Yeah. Massive difference, bro. There's levels to it, isn't it? And it's what Jerry said. listen, whether they gassed him up or not, there'll be a level of that, but they still think it's quality. Otherwise, you can't play for 100 if you're not quality. This is not. They're not trying to do that. But then, if my ambition of what I want to do in football matches how man are gassing me up from the biggest club in the world, it's a perfect match, isn't it? Because you saw what happened before this all happened, all this got said, and we've just been trying to figure out what do you think Trent's going to do all season. Fans have been they've been cooking him all season. I'm talking about forget the football. Oh, Trent wants to win the Ballon d'Or. This geezer's deluded, blah blah blah. Brother, he said in that video, bro, he said, I know people are going to think I'm deluded, but I believe I can do it. So why not? I want to be the first fullback to do it. Because bro, small-minded people, innit? He ain't trying to hear that, bro. And sometimes, bro, I'm not disrespecting anyone's place in that, bro, but people just kind of want to keep it at local council level and that, bro. Man of the people and all that. Sometimes, bro, no, bro, how about I leave? You be proud of me that I come from this place and this is where I've made it to. You get me? Putting you man on the map and that. Scouts with a Ballon d'Or. You ever heard that before? Exactly, bro. Come on, man. This
I think what's actually hilarious about this whole thing, and when it comes to football, right, is when you look on the other side, on the other flank, right, you've got a player, Robbo, that showed immense loyalty, that's come from the dirt, right, that's never been linked with a thing. He's run the miles he's put on the clock for Liverpool, right, in Robertson, right? And man are saying, yeah, we need to replace him and get rid of him and that. If he was in his last year of his contract, everyone would say, you know what, just let him go, or maybe sign him up and be a backup and you get a real replacement, right? With Trent, they're not using that discussion. They're not having that same energy, right? Why? Because you know he's quality, right? So for everything that you go and talk about, you intrinsically know, but he's quality though, right? And he can still provide value. If the player doesn't provide value, 9 times out of 10 fans don't care. You're not going to show that same loyalty, and neither is the club really, right? And when you look at it a bit deeper, right? If Liverpool thought, right, with Michael Edwards and the manager, that they feel he's pivotal to what Liverpool want to do, right? Not important, pivotal. They sign him up like they did Salah 2 summers ago when they flew out Julian Ward and the other brother, and whilst he was on holiday, they signed him up, right? When he had 1 year left on his deal or whatever. They're not acting like that with Trent. So from a perspective, they would go, and if they did, they'll just go and slap 300k, 400k if you really wanted him, because it still makes sense, like financially, from a financial standpoint, because he is your local lad. What he's brought to the team, if you think he's going to be captain, right, that's what you do. But they're not looking at it like that. For them, their stance is, you're worth this amount, right? This is what we're going to give you. He's like, nah, again, from a monetary standpoint, nah, I'll stay if you offer me more though. They don't want to offer him more. So essentially they're telling us and telling me like, yeah, cool. We can get someone else. This is the value. We're not going above that. That's fine then. Liverpool are making that gamble and saying we can get rid of Trent and then bring someone else in that can be, like we've spoken about on this panel, on Hussam's, on this, defensively solid. Do you know what I mean? Get someone that can just defend, get a proper right back. So I don't understand the outcry really. I mean, I'm disappointed. I'm upset. Virgil for me number 1, but Trent for me number 2. I think, I mean, it would be a shame not to see him in the Liverpool top, 100%. But like, it's football. I don't have to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I just hope the same energy is kept for Salah and Virgil when they don't sign blood.
Oh yeah,
but it won't be. It'll be on FSG at that point.
Of course, it will.
It'll always go back to them. It'll always go to them. Right. Think about Trent as well, though. It's like I'm a critic of him, okay, like defensively and some of the long ball nonsense stuff. But we'd have been a different team against Newcastle and PSG if he was in the team. It's just a fact. Offensively, he's an absolute monster, and you know, Real Madrid are probably going to get some incredible performances out of him. Like, I can't see him ever getting the Ballon d'Or if I'm honest, because he'll be the one who's
that's my point. I agree, but that's my point.
Win it.
That's my point. It's not about where we don't think it's about his belief, bro. The fact that everyone thinks he's deluded and he doesn't, because it's like, no, if I believe in my ability like that, I'm on that. It just shows the difference in mentality. It's because
on the flip side, exactly. Because on the flip side, imagine he does. Exactly. Like, let's say in 3-4 years' time he does, right? He does. Whether he's playing in midfield, flipping middle wing, right back, whatever, he ends up winning the Ballon d'Or, right? For whatever reason that is. We're all going to be what you're going to be looking and saying, nah. we were deluded. No, we didn't believe it, but he proved everyone wrong. And that's, if you want to be the best, you have to have that mentality. We were cooking Zubimendi for not having the mentality in that. I remember G laughing at it. I remember G laughing at it in the summer when Zubimendi was like, "No, I want to stay at Real Sociedad."
Bro, why are you lying? When
I love my mountains.
You are, bro.
What?
Did you not say that?
I didn't laugh at Zubimendi, bro.
No, you were laughing at the narrative, not Zubimendi. You were laughing at the fans saying that Zubimendi was a snake for leaving his boyhood club.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, but what are you trying to do?
And I remember, man, and no one can hide from me because I remember them videos when it got reported that Zubimendi was staying and talking about man was so.
No, I was saying you're laughing at the fans, not Zubimendi.
And everyone was laughing at him, bro, called him a dickhead, saying he has no ambition and that. But now Trent's doing the same shit going the other way. All of a sudden, you know what I mean? Stay where you are, stay with the Docs and not the sea blood. I hear it, man. It's crazy, bro.
Stay with the Docs.
No, it's true, bro. Like people are taking it mad personal about Trent and stuff.
Yeah, drive down that brick lane every day. Yeah.
We've seen it for the last. I saw Jerry and Sam losing their shit. Yeah, trying to argue this not long ago between Bradley and Trent. And I watched the man's on the panel, and I looked at the chat, bro. And man weren't talking about Trent.
It was KMACK. It was KMACK.
Yeah, no, man weren't talking about Trent's the guy and all that, bro. Is that exactly?
Jerry's always been.
So that's what I'm saying. If you're that person, which is fine because it's all opinions. What you mad about? It's because you probably feel the same way the club did. As Jerry said, that's why he's leaving, if he is leaving, because you don't think that much of me, bro, and someone showing more interest, bro. I mean, you're the man trying to stay in a relationship with a girl that's not showing you no interest in that. I'm not. Not when I fire things on it, bro. No way. I don't care if she's gassing me up saying my dick's the biggest she's ever had. She's probably lying, bro, but you know what I mean? It's not the point. It's not the point.
And say gassing me up, you know. Big up to Tyler Jones with a $30 super chat. Love, bro. Appreciate it as always, man. Big up to you, man. Appreciate it, man. Always being kind. Big up to my bro Honesty as well. Frimpong or get me Javaro Reed. He is cold. Not really watched this brother. Is he good?
Who's Javaro Reed?
17, like
good.
Honestly, he's always got the players on deck, bro.
He's played like 20 games, and he's.
Oh, come on, man! Oh, come on!
He's 18.
And guess what? Is the thing as well? It's another Dutch player in it.
He plays for final.
Yeah, I mean that's Honesty. Honesty Dutch, bro. You know,
it's another final player, bro.
Like he's not a dead player, but you know, like if you signed him in the summer, you'll just look at the club like, what? Like, are you okay? Like, is everything all right?
That's why Trent wants to leave, bro. We're trying to sign man with 20 caps and that.
They want like 25 million for him, by the way. That's a lot of money.
For 20 games played.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Bro, you said yesterday that man won 100 mil for Tyler Diblin. And
yeah, you're right. But at least he's played a season in the Prem, bro. Like,
25
I guess the man them ain't really trying to do like winning the league and then doing the project thing, bro. It's long, isn't it?
Yeah, no one's trying to hear that. But I feel like that's what we're going to do anyway. So just get used to it now, innit? Like,
remember I said it yesterday. I told you what's going to happen with the young guns, brother. Now, just Slot told me that in the press conference. Let me know in pre-season. Prepare myself, and I'm just going to relax, bro. Watch it.
You know what people don't want, yeah? You see, I don't know if you guys heard Enzo Maresca. So Chelsea fans have been talking about this a lot. Is that he came out in one of the press conferences recently and said, you know, Chelsea are not a club who like are challenging for the title or anything like that. We're a club, you know, trying to get top 4. Now, technically, yes, they are that type of club, but obviously fans don't want to hear that because in their head, they're looking at it thinking, what do you mean we're only trying to get top 4? Like, we want to win this. And, you know, we spent £1 billion. And the thing is, I totally understand. And that's why I always talk about optics. The optics of that is very bad. Like in terms of people are not going to, that's not going to be received well. You're not going to look better just by saying that.
And if Slot doesn't do that, Slot's not going to say that. Slot's going to say he's going for the title, but then the players that we're bringing in is going to look like that. Don't look like the kind of player that goes. And then you're going to have to hope that man's genius is real, bro. It's just one of those, man. But I'm actually fine with it already, though. Like I said, I just need the Prem this season. Let me just relax after that, bro. Car could be a bumpy ride still. You know what I'm saying, blood? Could be cold.
Just taking that Prem and chilling would be the because then I know what's gonna happen after that. Big up to Honesty. It says question for the man them. But how much we rate Mo and VVD and want them to stay? But what if Edwards and Hughes is like you guys are over 30 and we don't know how long you can stay at the top level?
Yeah.
That's part of it. That's why they don't want to offer them the 3 or 4 year deal. Like, listen, Virgin will take a 5 year deal, you know, a 5 year deal on like 300 bags. Like, I mean, they'll be eating out, but they get in the 1 year probably.
It's been the Edwards model the whole time, isn't it? Remember, ain't that was all the players that Klopp kept on before? Like if they didn't come back in because Klopp stayed, Virgil and Mo probably signed their contract, bro. Because they know they'll carry on playing, innit?
I was listening to who's the Arsenal? Who's the Arsenal player who does Talk Sport? Ex-Arsenal player.
Here.
No, the blonde hair. He's got like long blonde hair. Midfielder.
Oh, Ray Parlour.
Ray Parlour said like Frank Lampard got a 5-year contract when he was 30. Like I feel like Mo and Virgil. That's my dog. Go on, someone else though.
Lampard did that, and then after that, he got the rolling contract, and the year on year. But it's what Jerry like. The realistic is what Jerry said, bro. Man, them love the club that much, bro. Sign whatever contract it is, and that, and then with a chance of extending or something like that, or a year extension after that. If not, then you're just waffling in it, and it's fine as well. It's fine to waffle because it's about you, not us, really. I don't know why man them lie about that stuff. It's all about the fans. It's definitely not all about the fans. They will turn on you with a miss of an open goal, bro. You get me? They will, bro.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. Like, it doesn't mean Trent doesn't love the fans. It's just that's not my priority, bro. It can't be. You can't live life like that, bro, as a footballer, because you end up being forgotten on TalkSport when no one cares about you, bro. Saying that you was always shit anyway, and your GA was rubbish. You know that's what happens, bro. You want leg break away from it, bro. Alphonso Davies dropping tracks and that. It's signed for Bayern. Now he's injured, out for the ACL gone.
The rest of the season, yeah.
You think man them care, bro? No one's going to talk about his tune soon.
And the thing is, this is what it is with football. This is what it is with football, right? We can go and like Trent could go, and you never know. We could get a right back in that's better than Trent. We could get a right back in that's better than Trent. You could go and get a centre back. It might be difficult. That's better than Virgil, and you just forget about that next man. We just forget about him like he just didn't exist. But at the time, he was so precious. That's what football is.
Yeah, like
we're holding on to stuff just because Klopp is the best example.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Liverpool are going to be finished. We're winning the league this season.
Winning the league now, no one cares, blood. This is football.
Big up to Gang in Deep as well. It says if all three go after winning the Premier League, are Liverpool fans going to accept a rebuild / cycle to get to the pinnacle? Might a top 4 battle for the next few years replacement won't be ready made players to win now?
Liverpool fans ain't got a choice.
Yeah, you won't have a choice.
They're gonna have to accept it, and as we know, Liverpool fans ain't on smoke, blood. They'll accept anything, bro. The ones who moan about stuff, you get me? We ain't gonna protest. We ain't gonna do any of that business. We're just gonna accept it and moan, blood. So,
who knows, man? You know, like obviously, you know that we've spoken about Liverpool this season, yeah, and we spoke about the quality of the league and stuff like that. Now, obviously, I do think Manchester City will come back with a vengeance next season. But let's just say, yeah, in another world, right? Let's just say this is just going to remain the quality of this league for the next 5 years, as an example, and Liverpool just happen to go back to back to back, as an example.
Well,
who knows? Like, yeah, I mean, we might just like then it will just be like, all right, cool. Like, do you know what I mean? You roll with it. And but also on the flip side, like what Gagan said, could be a top 4 kind of thing. Listen, I'd rather be going into that season winning a title,
yes,
than
of course,
going into it thinking, brother, man, it's been all 5-6 years. We ain't touched a Prem. It doesn't even look like we might touch a Prem for like 4 years now. Like, at least I've got now 2 in whatever years it's been, you know, in this time. So at least I can kind of hold off on that, like, kind of thing. Even if another team wins it, like Arsenal next season, I'll still be like, well, I got 2 anyway, so I'm kind of good, like, to go for a little piece and then, you know, take it from there. But
when you just said that, bro, when you just said that example of if the quality stays like this for the next 3-4 years, brother, that hurt my soul, blood.
It hurt me saying it. It hurt me saying it,
brother.
It hurt me.
That's disgusting. This is the level of football for the next 5.
Don't get twisted.
To be fair, though, we won't care, though, innit?
You won't care.
I can't lie. I get why you're saying that. I will care, bro.
No, you'll care from a football purist. Like,
yeah. Obviously, I'll accept it and I'll accept the league titles and that. But you see the little like
when we do the best teams in history.
Yeah, there won't be no, and you won't be seeing them in no more trades and all that.
But to be fair, if we do what G said, yeah, where it was back to back to back, yeah, like, and you won 4 in a row, at that point you can't even say anything. Like, you see, if you win one now and then it's like you lose the next one, and you can have that argument. But if you win back to back, it doesn't matter what era that's in it. No, people knew their level and they still couldn't get there. With all the P that's there, with all this, you know what I mean, with City how they are, they just couldn't get there in it. So you got to kind of, man. And obviously you adapt in it. I think depending on how you are in that, man, I've been open people from the outside, they'll start seeing how man them see Bayern Munich who don't watch Bundesliga, bro, and man them see, I mean, because when you hear the conversations that people always act like man ain't doing anything, can it? They are doing something. They're still battling and stuff. The fans are still on it, but it's a madness, man. It's not their fault. They're just there to do a job in it. So
big up to Jamrock, because no one's going to mention the reported 325k offered. What's that into, bro? Let me know. Is that for Trent? Is that what Trent's being offered?
I think it's all about Trent.
Yeah, Trent.
But that even furthers the point that it's not. It goes back to what we talked about. If he's to speak and he's like, yeah, what are you man doing, right? Forget the money. What are you man doing for us to be successful? When they're talking about Mbeumo and Semenyo, respectfully, like, it's not good enough. Right? Respectfully, if those are the players that we're being linked with, it's not good enough. Like, how many years, right, where Liverpool were on top, you went and were signing Sepp Vandenberg and Elliott and this player and Kabak and Davies, and you can do that when that core's still there. When that core starts to break away, it's like, all right, you need an injection. The only name really that we've been linked with like that is Isak. What? Where's the guy? Where's the guy that you're getting? Where's the Haaland? Where's the statement signing to show that we've really been ambitious? We haven't ever made that in recent years.
That's one
so
thing.
It's not about the money. It's clearly not about the money. Then if he's offered that.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly say something? Yeah, this is I probably should save this for Enz's who said what streams. But I just want to say,
why are you smiling?
Because Jerry just said something. Yeah, why do we do this in our community, right? Why do we start off by saying respectfully, brother? You're about to be the most disrespectful person in this whole sentence with what you're saying. And I was just like, respectfully. I was like, bro, what does that even mean? Like, I know what it means, but you know what I mean? Like, when I hear it, I'm always busting up.
All it means, G, is that we're not gonna have a fight once I say what I'm saying. That's all it means, bro.
Like, say something that slightly.
If you fight me now, you're in the wrong. If you fight me because I said respectfully. So
how many times have you said, look, I don't want to offend you?
That's what I said.
You don't want to offend someone.
That's what I told you, bro. Just be disrespectful. It's easier, blood.
Yeah. Bro, it was just funny. Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to break this Harvey Elliott news, bro, instead of asking me today.
I mean, it's your stream. I feel like.
Break the news, bro.
Why are you, man, moving like Darmesh, blood? What's the news, blood?
Harvey Elliott's been given a number 10 or something.
Moving like Melissa Reddy and Darmesh, blood. I'm not trying to hear this, bro. Just put up the news and stop fucking around, bro.
It just popped up on my thing that Liverpool would accept an offer if it's a good offer for Harvey Elliott.
Yeah,
of course they will.
Said that a while ago.
G's happy. How much money? How much money in the kitty?
But I mean, of course, like, if he sold Harvey again, you know, like Harvey Elliott's like the Jerome Quansah, like them type of brothers. Like you're not crying if you miss them type of players. What you would do though is you'll be like, oh, okay, cool. If you get a good offer, I will entertain it. I'm not going to actively try. Yeah, like I'm not going to offer them to clubs because I might not look at them as like that poor of a player because I might think, no, if I can keep them, then I will keep them. And if no offers are really, going to be that great, then I'm not going to entertain it. But of course, if a good offer was to come in, but like I just feel like with certain players, like it goes back to the thing we spoke about, like the squads and that, and about what Jerry and Sav is saying about, talking about Trent and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, again, this is what I'm saying. Like the squad in my eyes is not that good. So he probably looked at him for, but you lot are going to have to really move mountains to convince me that this is going to be something that I need to continue to invest in order for me to want to stay here. Being the captain of the club and all this bullshit, but I don't really feel like that's going to be enough because this isn't 1999 anymore. Like we're in 2025. Players are trying to do bigger things than they were back in those type of days. Because I feel like there's more to achieve in the game than there was, back then kind of thing. So
I like Harvey, man. You man are selfish, blood. You're not thinking about Harvey's dad, you pussy's blood. You get me?
You watched the documentary then.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah, man.
Oh, he's dead. You know, that's the last thing we're worrying about, man.
I'll tell you what though. Just something on the players leaving. Like, what are we like moving like Football Manager? Like when we go into a club and just sell everyone. Like, what the hell's going on?
KMACK, you're right, bro. I'll be honest, bro. The reason why every time
like...
I see where G's coming from with the Quansah and all that, and the reason why I keep like, I like them in it, so it's just my opinion. Whether I like them or not, don't really make a difference.
Oh, you got to keep some players.
But my thing is that I don't know what kind of trust you have in this club, bro. I don't have enough trust in this club to go, you're going to get rid of these guys and bring in somebody better, bro. Now, you might say, well, the level's so low that you should be able to bring anybody in. Bro, I don't even trust them to do that. I just don't. It's like when we spend.
I actually just don't care. Like, as in, I don't care if you.
They'll go and get below the level that you expect them to.
Exactly, bro. You know, like when everyone just keeps. I don't know, like I sound like a broken record and that, just because I'm Diaz is my guy.
But you see, guys, we're saying this right, but we're expecting the players that are in that situation, right, where they're the ones that are doing the business to be like, yeah, but no, I'm riding this out though. It's calm. We can get rid of all them man, and we can bring in this man. And that's calm.
Exactly, Joey. That's why I wasn't against Trent, because I'm like, I understand all of this business. I understand it completely. If we don't trust the club to do certain things, and them man are in it and they've been living it.
But think about it. I've seen every man in the chat right now talk about right. Diaz is shit, right?
Exactly.
Nunez is shit. Sell Jota, Soboslai's crap. Do you know what I mean? Endo, we should get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? But he's not going to. Harvey Elliott, sell him. Quansah's crap. Do you know what I mean? He's horrible. Need to get rid of him. Robbo's crap. Simicas is crap, right?
You're 9 players.
You want the players to stay within that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or you think the players should. Not that you might want them to, but you think the players should.
That's my point, because Diaz is my favourite Liverpool player, and I just hear man costing him all the time. And I'll accept it when it comes to the output thing. I'll have to just deal with that, and I'm not going to do it.
Me and you have the same.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, so that's fine, and I'll have to accept it. But what are you bringing in somebody better than him? If not, allow it, innit?
You'd be lucky to find anyone who works as hard as him. I tell you that. Absolute workhorse, Diaz.
Subway's crap. Big up to everyone, man. Guys, can we get these likes up though? We're only on 88 likes, bro. There's been consistently over 150 you guys in here. Can we not get it to 100 likes? Let's get the likes up, man.
Yeah, man, it's madness, bro. But it's what there is about shopping at Tesco and not Waitrose.
Get on it.
The difference is Waitrose got only 2 products left on the shelf anyway, bro. So that is because the quality is mad, bro. That's everyone's at a club, bro. So
we're saying it's a robbing thing only. You can only rob at this point. There's nothing left. You're robbing the shopping baskets.
They're saying Konate's Fabrizio's saying Konate's contract is one of Liverpool's main priority as well. Bro, I'm telling you, Liverpool need to announce like Virgil, Salah, Ibu, and then saying Isak is joining us, bro. For the fans.
Hold on. What if Konate says, I don't want to sign? If Konate now comes and says, I don't really want to sign you.
Oh, bro, allow it.
No, but if he don't, is that energy the same? Are we going to call him a snake? Or are we going to start looking at the bigger picture and why that's happening? Why? This is gross misconduct.
Yeah,
gross misconduct.
You've got to start looking at the bigger picture. I mean, as soon as if Virgil and Virgil and Mo don't sign, then I am.
Bro, you're asking.
I'm looking at the bigger picture. Then,
yeah, you're asking Konate to play with these certain types of players, isn't it? And then Konate is going to be like, so I got to be the main man for Liverpool, and then PSG is going to. So I'm going to be the main man for Liverpool. I can be the main guy for PSG in my town blood, and all this. Bro, we're going to end up like Arsenal blood after around 2006 blood when they got stripped of everyone, bro. That's
so Gordon. So we're playing Gordon, Doak, and them man there. Then is that what you're saying? That's when them man.
We're gonna have to.
So what we've done, we've made a pact with the devil, to say we win the league this year, but 20 years of turmoil.
You know what? That's so funny because I heard someone talk about it. They said,
"Oh my god,
did he do a deal with the devil?"
We should have known, bro. From that zesty picture Slot took, bro, it was gonna be tits up after this, bro. Bro. Yeah, from that pose, bro, we knew what was going on, bro. Big up Slot.
How many times I wanted to put it on a thumbnail, and I thought, nah,
brother. It's crazy, bro. We just
one thing though, just one thing, and I need to look into this more as well. To be fair, but when Klopp came in, didn't he have 2 mad windows? like 2 straight mad windows. Like
when you say mad,
the first season he didn't really sign anyone, but then the second season we got loads in, we got loads out, we got loads in, we got loads out. Like your Manes, your Virgils, your Mo's, like all of them came in. Like Robbo, they all came in one by one. Like
yeah, but people like Robbo and that weren't part of a mad window.
No, but we had like 2 really big windows where we kind of rebuilt the entire team that was under Hodgson and Rodgers.
Can
we do it again? Because we got the same guys in charge. Like we got Edwards. Like
we got rid of like on the clock, Joe Allen and all them, man, and Brad Smith and Ballard.
Just be interesting to see what that actual turnaround was like. Because are they trying to do it again? Because we didn't get anyone, and we did. I
think what's happened is right. They are trying to. I just had the thought now. I might be wrong, but they're trying to right the wrongs of since Michael Edwards has left and when Klopp was there. They're trying to right the wrongs that were there. So I think, figuratively speaking, this season and us winning the league, right, has ultimately led to FSG like, oh, rah, like we've got time now. Like this is the best time to go and do what we're doing, because if we're trying to get into top 4, but players are leaving and Virgil van Dijk is dropping off and Salah and players that want to come, it's crazy. But if we win the league, right, they're speaking to players now, like the same way Trent is going to Real Madrid and Virgil is talking to PSG or whatever. Don't believe it, right? Liverpool are probably speaking to the agents of a Frimpong, of a Kunde, whatever names we spoke about, right, to try and see what's the situation now. So season ends and we're attacking the market straight away, right? You can do that from a position of strength. And I think they're looking at it thinking, even if we don't win the league next year or the year after, we might be in a position to win it in 3 years' time. We waited 4 years for a league anyway, with the way it was going with Klopp and the team we had. So if they can win a league every 3-4 years, that's the average that we're probably doing it at right now.
Yeah, because righting the wrongs for them is going back to typing it. To what they know,
exactly. Going back to what they know, looking at the players, getting the players that they want, making sure it's part of the same age, like within the age bracket, and they can go and sack all these players off, sacrifice the league next year, even though it's not. I don't think it'll be a sacrifice, but say we might not challenge or win the league because Salah, Virgil have gone potentially, and Trent, right? But in 3 years' time, we've got a squad that's ready to compete, and do you know what I mean? And then we start the process again. Maybe so. I don't know.
It would have been way easier as well if we wasn't going to win the league, bro. Big up, man. If we were just scraping top 4 this season, it would have been way easier for them to get back to that model. All these negotiations wouldn't even be a thing, because for them, I said it to you at the start of the season, and obviously in hindsight, you know, I mean, Slot's had a Salah that's been performing out of his skin, Virgil who's been at the same level. But if he wasn't, it'd be like, yo, it's easier for me to just lose people like Salah, bro. You get me? I can build my system properly without building it around somebody without expectation. You get me? Because the fans' expectation after Klopp leaving anyway, there's very few of us that thought, well, yeah, we're going to win the league. And it's like everyone already accepted it, innit? Everyone was just saying, oh, as long as we can get Champions League football and win the League Cup, we'll be happy with that. Now you've gone and, you know what I mean, kind of kick that in the face and won the league, and that. The fans' expectation is going to be still, we need to win the league next season, we need to do all that. For them, they're just like, brother, hold this league, innit, like Jerry said, and hold on to that for the next 3-4 years and make yourself happy with it.
But even then, you know, like, but you know, even from like a player's perspective, Sav, it's like, let's say you're Gutrida or Kunde or whatever, right? You're joining a team that just won the league.
Yep.
Right? So even if and Isak is looking at it, I'm joining a team that just won the league and they came out of the Champions League on a penalty shootout, right? Or against a team that's an arguable favourite. You're looking at that and thinking, that's Liverpool now are in a position of strength in terms of that we have been when we won the league previously, where you can go out and sign these players. The difference is, right, your best players are older. When we went back then, and we won the league and won the Champions League, right? You had players that were of a prime age where you're not replacing any of these men. Isak was looking at that thinking, like, if Isak probably not joining Liverpool when Mane, Bobby and Salah are all there, because he's not going to play, right? He's just not going to play. They're that good. Right now, he's like, yeah, Salah's good, but he's going to go in a couple of years, though. He's going to go in a couple of years, and then it's my time. You can see that there's there's gaps in the squad. We've spoken about it. Left back's not great. So when there's gaps in the squad and you're in a position of power, the best time you can go and approach players. Liverpool in the past have been position of power, but the squad's full. We're struggling to attract players because they're not going to have game time, even if you want to attract them. So you're looking at that level below. I don't remember Liverpool being linked with a player like Isak before, where he's that hot property. Like we weren't linked with Grealish.
No, our Liverpool's pool's pretty rubbish. Like, our pool's pretty shit. It's always like it's a manager or it's a certain player.
We've never got the big guy we've ever been targeted with.
Is it the pool though, guys, or is it just like we always so picky? We always like really picky in terms.
I think it's a bit of both because even like
one on the list and that's it.
Yeah, it's a bit of both, and obviously the model's been around for a while now. Because even like Man U, I think when they was on that Europa, when it was in the Europa League at that time, they got like Zlatan, Pogba, and somebody else in one window, and then they went and got Ronaldo and Sancho and whoever in the other window not long ago when they were playing shit. Like they've always got the pull over us, even when they're rubbish, bro.
Even Arsenal, like they were with Sanchez, Özil. Do you know what I mean? Because so
don't get me wrong, there is a caveat to there is a caveat to some of them, like certain manager or the city in it. London's always a pool on its own with Arsenal as well. But Man U is really like, what's the pull at Man U? They just come across
it's
as
the money though, innit? Because Man United won't like look at what Sancho is on. Like you ain't done nothing yet. You come to the club. So that's the pool. That's their pool, innit? But you're right about the London thing as well. But a lot of these guys
mad with Man United though, innit? It's like okay, you're going for the money, but Jesus Christ, you know that they're probably going to kill you. Like you're probably not going to have a great time there. Some
players see some players see like a some of them do see a project in it. If you rate yourself a lot,
you're playing for Bayern Munich, mate. You just play for Juventus. You're playing for Bayern Munich. Like
you might think you can bring
you're going to Man United to have no defensive midfielders to do anything for you. Like
I do think that. I think some people will look at clubs when they were growing up, depending on how old they are, they might be like, yo, I'm so good, I reckon I can go and help bring Man U back to. Now, don't get me wrong, when they get there, they see it's
the ego, innit? It's the ego we spoke about, innit? I can be the guy that does this. I can be the guy.
And you know what, Jerry? You hit the nail on the head there as well. That is probably the reason why we don't sign a lot of these big players.
Yeah, of course, bro. It's what women do,
bro. We don't have egos at Liverpool.
Yeah. You know, the woman who's like, I'm the girl that can change this guy from being a cheater and from being a playboy. And then they realize you can't. That's what's going on with Man U. And we've got younger players in the game. I say that sounds crazy, actually. Everyone's the same age and that. But this younger crop of players coming through, the more talented ones. Now you go look at how old they were when certain teams were in prominent spots. Man U ain't won the league since 2013. And some of these players are like 17, 18 and stuff like that. So when
that's you're getting Dorgu, they're having to sign players like Dorgu and stuff like that.
Exactly. So when people are like, why is this guy going to Man City? I'm like, because this guy is 18, bro. So his whole life since he was like 8, it's just Man City winning everything, bro. Yeah. Everyone can keep going on about what, like, we love it, Liverpool fans, and Man, you love it for our history books and that. You speak to youngsters nowadays, their mentality is different. That's why they're calling man who are 30 years old, old. But they don't care. What can you do for me now? And what club can I go to? Yeah, I mean, they ain't trying to hear about all the stuff from Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush and that, bro. You have to have like a proper cultured kid. With like Harvey Elliott will care about that because his dad loves Liverpool. But you have to have a proper cultured kid. That's why they all run back off to South America in the first place, because that culture carries on. It never stops. They don't have like Barcelona's period of being down. You won the league 2 seasons ago. That's your period of being on the floor, you know. Like you got rid of Xavi and you won the league, bro.
And I think they probably beat Real Madrid in all the cups as well. Like,
you didn't need to say that. You didn't need to say that. But
I think
you need to. Let me get to these super chat boys, and then I've got a few Oscars. You know, I mean, got sessions and stuff. Donovan said, curious to know what you guys want. Sorry, curious to know what you guys do want Liverpool to do / win. So for me personally, bro, just win the title this season. Next season, I've accepted that it's gonna probably be a rebuild. So I'm kind of just cool with just challenging or finishing in the top 4. But I think after that is where the expectation has to go again. Because if all of these guys are going to leave and I've kind of come to, you know, the realization that's going to happen, even though I don't want it to, then I'd just go, right, we're not going to be able to replace Virgil and the team's just going to sink up and go again. Then replace Salah and then the team's going to sink again. I think we're going to go through a bit of a hard time. But I think this after that season, next season, I think that's where they have to fully go again. But I'll take a little cup, a little cup in there.
Yeah, we're the original cup team in it. So I'm almost all right going back to that. Obviously, the some kind of race. These seem like you're in the flipping tar race, and I'm more interested to see what Slot's going to do as a manager more than anything. I want to know how good he actually is. He's good, but I want to know how good he is and what he can do, because as we said before, we might be able to go back to that model, and it really does work. And these geezers can go and get some players that we don't know about, or that we know about and we don't rate them like that because we ain't watching them week in, week out. And then that will be fun, because then it's like, oh, I didn't know you could. This geezer can do that, and that's kind of dope. The worry is if it doesn't do that, we're worried about right now about Salah and all them, but then you've got to start worrying about McAllister and that, bro, who's already won a World Cup and that, and he's like, well, if I'm not going to flip it, I've won the league at Liverpool now, and this feels like it's not going anywhere. And then you go back to which I know it sounds like bullshit and that, but it's a South American thing, and then all of a sudden they start going like, I might go Atletico Madrid still, I might run a young Barca and that, bro, because this Liverpool,
he's already linked with Real Madrid, mate.
Yeah, and then the agents start getting people. Happens quick now. People move on very fast now. You see how quick Alvarez moved on from Man City, bro? Rapid.
Yeah.
Feels like he wasn't even there.
That's a signing, by the way. That's a statement signing.
He's a great player, but
I think for me, it's what En said. I think win the league. I think next season, I think it is going to be a rebuild. And what I'm more interested to go and see, right, is how Liverpool transition away from this style of play that Klopp has had to Slot having his imprint in the team. I think that's arguably just as important, because what will happen, I think, the longer it stays the way it is, Slot becomes very replaceable, and you start having a situation like you have at Chelsea, where manager wins, it doesn't work out, you get another manager in just to go and replace it. I want to go and see, does Slot have the ability to really imprint himself on that team, where you look at it and you can easily say, that's a Slot team. Yeah. Like, just if you took away Liverpool playing and they were all wearing the same tops, you'd be able to look and be like, yeah, that's they play like Liverpool, or they play like Slot, or they play like Klopp.
Yeah.
And I think right now, when I look at Liverpool personally, I don't see, oh yeah, that's a Slot team. I think there's certain aspects, but I still, for me, very much transition oriented, and that's also down to
what G said earlier as well, or Savage saying about if the league stays the same. Imagine building. Okay, imagine you're right, Jay. Imagine him just now going right, rebuild. Let me build a team in my mold, and he just goes on and absolutely blitz the league again. That would be great.
Judging by what he says, he likes Slot. It's an exciting prospect to see his type of football. People always argue me all season because they think I'm dissing him by saying not much has changed, but I'm not dissing him. It's just that the goals come from the same. Like towards the end of Klopp's reign, it was starting to get like, the patterns of play are missing. Now, it doesn't matter if you like the patterns of play, but there were clear patterns before. We knew how the goals were coming. It started to get a bit like scatty, like from anywhere. And the same thing's still kind of happening, but now the scattiness has gone to, it's just Salah. It's not scatty anymore. It's just Salah, like something will happen from that side of the pitch. And the midfield in particular, that's where I want to see Slot's imprint, because at the moment, there's nothing, bro. There's nothing. They're either working their ass off. All of them are not. All these players are not like the typical robust midfielders. But we're playing Szoboszlai like he's one of those. We're playing McAllister like that, and we're playing Gravenberch like that, brother. And they don't play like that. They don't. And then you said the same thing about that. I know international football's different, but completely different the way they're playing in it. So I would love to see that as well, because at the moment it's a bit here or there, and it's like, we're kind of like playing how we was before, but then it slows down in certain aspects, and the players seem to not get it sometimes. And it's like a half.
Like in hindsight, look, Slot's done the right thing. He's coming to the team, and he's trying to maximize what he's got, because you have to do that. You've got players there like Salah and Verge that aren't going to be in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very unlikely they're going to be in a couple, in my opinion. So you have to maximize what you've got, and I think he's done it excellently. The fact that we're winning the league like that, but there comes a point where he is like, when he came in, he knows the age of these players. He knows, I'm going to have to move these guys on. So as soon as he comes in, look, Edwards and that would have been speaking to sort of about who's the guy. So whoever that guy is, they've got a list, innit? They've got a list, that Excel sheet's there of, yeah, it might be this guy that's going to come in. It might be this fullback, because they know there's certain areas that they have to address from beforehand. I mean, you have to make precautions. So, but I'm excited about that prospect.
Same.
I'm excited about seeing, right, no Salah, can Liverpool still be successful? That's exciting for me, that process of building up. And I think when I look back at just Liverpool's process, I enjoyed the clock reign so much because of like at the beginning as well, because it's like
more optimism every season.
You were seeing the pieces and you were seeing what was going on, and the way we pressed in that first game was mad. And then you're seeing Trent pops in, and then Robbo's in here, and then we signed Fabinho. Wow, we never signed from Monaco. That's a statement. Like, and you saw it building. Whereas when you get to the top, it's like, yeah, you're there now, but
that's what
I enjoy this side of it personally.
That's why the cup finals never killed us on the clock, innit? Because we got to so many cup finals and lost. Any other fan base would have died at that point and be like, nah, brother, get this you out, but you can't win finals. But now we saw it. Yeah. We saw there were very fine margins in it. You saw the Europa League one.
Wasn't there like a stat where we were literally, I think we were like three cups and 2 leagues, and it was the space of like 2 goals and 3 points.
Yeah. 2 goals. That's the thing. You're happy to give someone a blind. When you see fine margins, you're happy to give someone a blind and go, you know what? It's not fluke. There's definitely something there. You just need to change this. Like when we finished the point behind Man City the first time, you knew, bro. You could tell, like, now we played our football so good. We're winning that league, bro. Like, it's not. And then we just came and mashed everyone up the next time, bro. Like, it was going to happen. Same in the Champions League. Pattern to play. It was good, man. And I'm with you, lot, man. I'm more excited to see it than anything. And I think if you do that and you still have a bit of like good cup competition in between, keeps the optimism there, keeps everyone's head afloat. It's what Arsenal's not doing, by the way. That's why their fans are so. Because if they were dripping in FA Cups and League Cups here and there in the Champions League final, their fans would be like, "Oh." Some of them are like, "Oh," at the moment, just from a title race and they've still not won it. But they're starting to grow tired of it. Like, "Oh, Arteta might not be the guy that can get us over the line." Yeah, I mean, if you can win us a few cups, you can do that.
Can I just mention something on that comment about Liverpool next season? So there's just a couple of things. Like the first one is we didn't go for a different manager because the manager that we potentially did wanted a rebuild right away. Like he wanted a new spine. Like he wanted to change the formation as well. So we didn't go for that. So we went for a guy that could work with the squad that he had. Same as Klopp, by the way, which is why we didn't go for Ancelotti. Work with the squad that he's got and then change the squad progressively. Yeah. I think what Slot's been incredible with is he's managed to get the best out of the players that he knows are the best players. Yeah. And that's something that potentially we haven't done for a while with some of the guys in the team. And I'm really excited to see what he does, because if you look at our pre-season, when we didn't have any of the big heads in the team, we played some serious football, like different football that I've seen before. Yeah. And that was because he had a couple of weeks with the guys who he could mold to play the way he wanted. But then when he started the league, he didn't have that. And he also had the guys that have played for like the last 6 years. So
that's
try getting that out of them. Try changing them in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I'm definitely excited to see what he does with the younger players.
Absolutely,
because I haven't seen that yet. So
that's the biggest point. You know, is you know when you look at like Pep and you go and look at what he did at Barca.
Yeah, Jay, sorry, bro. I'm gonna have to run, bro.
Yeah, head off, man. Yeah.
Honestly, big up, man. Hit the likes and tell your familia or family to subscribe to the channel as well. And he has one other super chat for Sav as well. Sav, off topic. What go on with your players getting suspended for celebrating? Also, Vinny is dead food for Brazil.
First of all, asking me what go on. Listen, the league has got a target on Madrid, and it like because this is what it is. So
victim blaming. I hear it.
No, because it's a celebration, bro. Like they do have a problem with Real Madrid because they don't keep their mouth shut about anything. You see how Liverpool fans sometimes are like, we need to go to the Prem and say this. Madrid will do it after the game, bro, if something's wrong. Suspending these players for celebrating in front of the Athletic fans when the Athletic fans are throwing bottles at them and that. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what it is at all, bro. Yeah, I mean, if anyone's gonna go, okay, well, whatever, innit, bro? Because the same thing happened in the Prem. The Corey didn't get suspended for celebrating in front of the Liverpool fans, did he?
True.
So whatever.
Well,
And that's
just
and
fine, innit? That's
asking
all.
me about Vinny for Brazil. I'm a Brazilian, so that's the answer to that. Man ain't Brazilian, bro.
The Real Madrid players. Still.
That's a fair point. Why didn't he get suspended? Like,
Yeah, exactly, bro. Because it's football. I want football. I want
Jones
football.
did. He didn't
Listen,
get nothing.
I want
Oh,
football
that just
back, bro.
winds me
I
up
don't
even
care
more
how
now.
archaic it sounds. I want football back, bro. Let them celebrate in front of the fans, bro. Obviously, don't jump into the fans and that.
Yeah,
but
don't do
them,
that.
this is football. Antagonize them and all that, bro. Like, who cares, bro? Like, the Corey should have antagonized Liverpool fans.
You got bragging rights, haven't you? Like,
yeah. Why would Liverpool fans get mad? Like, the fans in the stadium get mad at it, but why? Oh, he shouldn't be doing that. It's football. He just scored in the last derby at Goodison, and they're shit. He should do that. And if Liverpool do it, Salah should go do the bow and arrow. The Everton fans, bro.
Yeah, that's what I think we need to do if we win the next one. But listen, guys, I got to shoot.
Remember the Suarez?
Got a couple of clients to go.
Dive right in front
Yeah,
of
in front of Moyes. Run it.
I got to run. But listen, man, them as always, man. Love for the love. Before we go, let me just quickly show where have I put it? My bad. Hold on. Let's make sure we go and subscribe to Savage's channel. He said, listen, he will be back next summer, man. So let's get the subscribers up, and then he'll be back to show you what it's about. Big up to G as well. G's always got something on his channel. I'm sure this man drops like 5 videos a day, so there's always something to watch. And obviously KMACK channel is on there as well.
I just did a video on Trent like a couple of days ago, so go check it out.
Go
and
also
loads of new signings.
And I don't know when Jerry's going to be back in the YouTube space, but he's here giving us his time, so we appreciate it nonetheless. Members, look out for the video. Who said what episode 3 is going to be out soon? I'll try and drop it as early as I possibly can, and then for everyone else, it'll be on after that. And then maybe back tomorrow, man. Let's see if there's any more news around the Liverpool space. Maybe there's something to do, with the Harvey Elliott thing. We'll see if we can get some details on that, and let's see if there's, Liverpool actually going to go and make some signings and see if we're going to push through, and maybe Salah signs his contract before the end of the season, so at least they can save some face. But listen, as always, man. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.